So I know you must be going, wait a minute, where's the going deeper with leçon douze? Well, basically, leçon douze, the vocabulary on toiletries and such, it's cut dry. It's literally what it says is what it means. It doesn't have multiple meanings, right? But I did want to speak about just a few cultural things in the vocabulary. One of the things is that when products or things are being introduced into our culture, we use the name that it originates from. So, for example, when computers came to Haiti, if it was an English speaking person that brought the computer, Haitian would call it compite, which is literally computer with a Creole spelling and a Creole accent. If someone who spoke French from Canada or France brought a computer, we would say ordinateur. Why? Because that's how it's said in French, but we would say it with a Creole accent and a Creole spelling, ordinateur. Same thing with toiletries. Haitians, we've used teas, we've used flowers, things from the earth, that's better for our skin to make potions like lotions and creams. But when things got introduced like shampoo, we would just say shampoo. Obviously, it's just shampoo with a Creole accent. Conditioner, conditioner, things like that. But we typically call things by the name brand. So if a Haitian kept seeing Pampers written on a bag of disposable diapers, it was natural to start calling that Pampers. Literally, that is what we call disposable diapers, Pampers. P accented EZ. So PANP accented EZ is what we would use for disposable diapers, whereas the cloth diapers, we have the original Creole, which is couchette, Kouch accented ET. So if you want to say cloth diapers, you would say Kouch accented ET, couchette. If you're talking about disposable diapers, whether it's Huggies or whatever, we are going to call it Pampers. The same thing for a box of Kleenex. I still do that because it's how I was raised. The brand that I use, actually it is Kleenex, but let's say one day I decided to use Puffs or the store brand. I would still say, oh, I'm out of Kleenex. And so Haitians, that's what we will call pocket tissues. And facial tissues, Kleenex. And we would just spell it phonetically, Klin, accented EKS. Some regions in Haiti, there's no access to stuff like that. So you might go around saying KLIN, accented EKS, Kleenex. New get Kleenex? You guys have Kleenex? And everyone's going to look at you like you're crazy. Because nobody there, it's not something you're going to take money out of your pocket in the en dehors, in the outer regions or the more difficult to reach areas to purchase. It's just so some people won't even know what you're talking about. Like nail polish remover, that's another great example of calling a product by its brand. So we would say Kitex. Why? Because Q-Tex was on the bottles of the nail polish remover. So Kit accented EKS. So we would say Kitex, Kit accented EKS for nail polish remover. There's so many more examples. One of the vocabulary words you have is rasoir, which does mean a razor, but typically we would say Gillette. Why? Because in English, the brand Gillette, it's what we saw on the razors. So we started calling them Gillette, Jil, accented Et. So if you hear a Haitian says rasoir, it's razor. And sometimes it's literally just the razor and not like the razor with the handle for shaving. It might be just a razor to cut at something. Okay, but when we say Gillette, Jil, accented Et, we are specifically literally talking about the shaving razor. Okay. Now, serviette is one of your words. It means towel, but serviette can also mean a napkin, like a table napkin, because this comes from the French. The table napkins are called serviette. And so it can mean towel or table napkins. Obviously, in most regions in Haiti, no one's sitting down using a table napkin. We're just going to wash our hands when we're done. But it's good for you to understand that. But what if it's washcloths? We do not call those serviette. Haitians were very big on hygiene, especially within our home. So we're not going to use a serviette to wipe down a towel. We do not put a serviette on the floor to soak up things. That's something, I see in the US and I go, ooh, like, isn't there a special kind of thing for that? I mean, use paper towels, because serviette to us is for the body. And so we want the serviette to be clean because we use it when our body's clean. We would say toile, Twal. Toile means cloth. It literally means cloth, Twal. So when you're wanting a wash rag or just a rag to clean the counters, you would ask for a toile. Now, some of your vocabulary words were clothing, just pretty much cut dry. I do want to touch on belt, senti, because sometimes we say senti-won. That definitely means a body belt, a clothing piece, the belt you would put around your waist. Sentiwon. Senti-won. It's a belt going around. Senti-won. Now, senti by itself is belt, but it could be car seat belt. When you're on the airplane going to Haiti and they're speaking in Creole, and they would say, "Mare sentiu." Tie up, tighten, buckle up your senti, because that's just in general called belt. So it can be like seatbelt. So I want to give you some bonus words because I like to give you bonus words. So one of the bonus words are naked. Tutuni. Répétez. Tutuni. Toutuni. One word. Totally naked. Tutuni. It means naked. Bathing suit. Costume de bain. Répétez. Costume de bain. KOSTIMDEBENY. Okay, costume, costume, de, of, bang, bathing. Because of French, we are basically using the old French term there, costumes of bathing. People would say they were going bathing. Instead of swimming, nager, they would say bathing. And so bang is how it is pronounced in French. So instead of saying costume de bain, we're just borrowing the French. There's a NY, which means you're going bain, B-E-N, bain, but the Y is dragging that nasal blend. Bang. Répétez. Bang. Very good. Now, what about toilet paper? We basically call it hygiene paper because specifically it's for using the bathroom. So we call it paper of hygiene. Papier génique. Répétez. Papier génique. So génique, J-E-N-I-K. Papier, P-A-P-Y-E. So it's paper. Hygienique is not really our word for hygiene. We would say hygiene, but it is used because that was the term in French. Papier hygiénique, P-A-P-Y-E, J-E-N-I-K. So those are your tips. And again, you should be moving along at a really great pace right now because anything that's holding you back, Anything that's holding you back has to do with going back to the teachings, going back to the grammar skill, because right now you're just learning basic vocabulary and practicing putting your sentences together. Okay, so go ahead and like this video after you download it so I can know that you've seen it, so that you can remember that you've already downloaded it. Hit like, and the next video will be the story, to help you practice some of the vocab words you learned today, some that you have learned in the last 11 lessons. And from lesson 16 on, we switch up and we focus on memory verses. Whether you read the Bible or not, it's just to help you understand how to read Creole, as in heavy Creole, and how to break down the sentences. So keep enjoying these stories and remembering, don't stop listening to the old stories, because those continue to sharpen your skills. Au revoir.